And a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 5-0. Moving on to consent. Would anyone like to pull anything from consent? Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Yes, I would like to pull item 3C6 on page 15.
Is that all?
Yes.
Anything else? Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent minus 3C6.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Please see that motion carries 5-0. We will hear, actually, Vice Mayor Woodward, would you like to do it now or wait till we do regular agenda?
I would like to do it now.
Okay, we will go to page 15, 3C6.
Do we need to, I don't really need staff to come up for this. It's just the family is here, and we're going to be presenting the sign, and later today it's going to be put on the bridge for John R. Myers in honor of his life and service to our county and the bridge department. It's going to be the East Ocean Avenue Lantana, dedicated April 2026, this month, for Palm Beach County Board of County Commissioners. Here's the sign here. And with the indulgence of the board, I would like to call the family forward. His wife, Jeannie Myers, and family Lynette and Rob Levy are here, and also EPW staff. If we could have them come up with us and take a picture with the sign dedication.
Yes, if you would please join us on the stage, and please let the record reflect that Commissioner Marino has joined us. Thank you. If you would like to make the motion to approve it first.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, could we make the motion to approve 3C6?
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Woodward, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0, and let the record reflect that Commissioner Sachs has joined us.
And also, I meant to ask the family, and not to put you on the spot, but if anyone would like to speak here at the microphone before we take the picture.
Please.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it on?
Is your mic on?
I don't know.
If you just speak, it should. Yep, there you go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's truly an honor to stand here today on behalf of my family, his wife Jeannie, and my husband Rob. We want to express our deepest and most heartfelt gratitude to the Palm Beach County Commissioners, especially County Commissioner Joe Abruzio. He has been our lifeline. The staff and administration of the Engineering and Public Works Department, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, Chief Kennedy, what's his name? Yeah. Okay. And all of the staff at Palm Beach County Road and Bridge, and the bridge superintendent, Tom Copini. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. There are moments in life when words feel too small, and this is one of them. Because how do you fully thank a community for loving and remembering somebody that we loved so deeply? John gave more than 41 years of his life to the Palm Beach County Road and Bridge Department. That kind of dedication isn't just a career, it's a calling. It speaks to who he is at his core. He was loyal, steady, and deeply committed to serving others. Ours is a family of a long history of local public service. Our father was a police officer for 2 different municipalities. I'm a 36-year employee of a local government, and my husband just retired from Palm Beach County Fire Rescue after 25 years. So we understand in a very personal way the commitment and heart it takes to serve a community, and John lived that every single day. He believed deeply in his work and the residents he served, but just as importantly, he cared about the people he worked alongside. He didn't just supervise, he supported. He didn't just lead, he cared, and he mentored for every single one of his crew. He stood up for his team, and he made sure they felt valued and respected. And if you knew John, you knew this about him. He never met a stranger. He had a gift for making people feel seen, welcomed, and very important. This bridge feels like a perfect symbol of his life. A bridge stands strong, it connects people, it carries them forward. And in so many ways, that's exactly what John did for over 4 decades. He built connections, he lifted others, he helped move this community forward, the community we grew up in, quietly, faithfully, and he never sought recognition. So for our family, this dedication is more than an honor. It is a lasting comfort. It means that John's life, his work, and the way he treated people will not be forgotten. Standing here today, we feel immense pride and deep gratitude for every single one of you here. Thank you for seeing him. Thank you for honoring him. And may everyone who crosses this bridge carry forward his spirit of service. Thank you.
Thank you. If you would please join us on stage for a photo.
Chief Kennedy.
If any of the tall guys would like to get stuff.
You're not really tall, but.
Me too, and I got porn too. Guys, if you don't mind, I'm gonna have you guys go down there, that side. Yep. So we get everyone in. Thank you.
You need Bryce for special You're the shortest one in the middle. I know, right? Everybody's turn. Me and Ray. Turn your shoulders.
Okay? I think we're about even now. Thank you.
Wow, it's a big picture.
Panoramic.
Tuck it in, guys. You almost need a ladder.
Okay.
Perfect.
Wait.
Okay.
Whatever. There's no ladder.
Perfect. Everyone, thank you for coming up here. Thank you for everything you do.
I had told his wife that we had met and that we talked.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys, for being there for us. For Chris family. Amazing. Thank you so much. All right, Teresi.
Vice Mayor Woodward, would you like to say a few more words?
Oh, I just thank you for the showing from the department. I think all of us were very upset when we received the call about this, and sorry to the family and just overall for the county. And it was a good showing of support and the love that this county feels for Mr. Myers and his family. And later today, the actual sign's going to be placed on the bridge, and it's Ocean Avenue in Lantana. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you for everything you guys do. Thank you for being here today. We are going to move on to special presentations. I would like to recognize with us today is Florida's Agricultural Commissioner, Wilton Simpson is here with us today. We also have former Senate President, who's also another former Senate President, Jeff Atwater, here with us today. So we have two Mr. Presidents, so thank you for being here with us. Because today, we are going to recognize how important agriculture is. I would like anyone that is here for agriculture today to please join me at the podium. Good morning.
Yeah, we should, right?
We will, yes. Celebrating agriculture today by declaring today is Together We Grow Day. First, it is my distinct honor to welcome the Commissioner, which I've just done. We are grateful for your leadership and for you joining us to celebrate Agriculture Day in Palm Beach County. At this time, I would like to invite everyone who is already up here. So thank you for making that easy. After we are done, we are going to join on stage for a photo. But the proclamation that we are here today, Together We Grow Day, declaring April 14th, 2026 as Agriculture Together We Grow Day, whereas this year marks the 53rd anniversary of National Agriculture Day, when Americans across the nation celebrate the vital role that our farmers, ranchers, and local agricultural industries and workforce play in providing us with a safe, abundant, and affordable food supply. Whereas Palm Beach County farmers lead the nation in the production of sugarcane, sweet corn, and sweet bell peppers. And whereas Palm Beach County farmers lead the state of Florida in the production of rice, lettuce, specialty leafy greens, radishes, Chinese vegetables, and celery. Whereas Palm Beach County leads all counties east of the Mississippi River for the production of food crops, with a large volume of our vegetable harvest being distributed as fresh produce throughout the eastern seaboard of the United States during cold winter months. Whereas agricultural community includes the plant nursery industry, which ranks third in the state of Florida for economic impacts. And these ornamental horticulture growers inspire homeowners, businesses, and municipalities to beautify their landscapes and for everyone's aesthetic benefit. Whereas our farmers protect the soil and water by implementing science-based best management practices, which are strategies that promote environmental stewardship while also supporting the high-quality food supply that many of us take for granted. Whereas our Florida agricultural industry suffered over $3.1 billion in crop losses due to severe freezing weather events in late January to early February of this year. Yet not notably, our farmers continue to demonstrate strength, resiliency, and adaptability in the face of these heartbreaking economic losses, while also managing crops through a major drought. Whereas Agricultural Council of America's 2026 National Agriculture Day theme was Agriculture, Together We Grow. We encourage our citizens to recognize our farmers and the contribution agriculture plays in our daily lives, to give thought to where their food comes from, buy food products grown in the USA, especially as we celebrate America's 250th anniversary, and express gratitude to our farmers. Thank you. It is an honor of a lifetime to represent and help represent agriculture in this county, but after hearing this, you also know a big part of that is state. But it is never, ever my intention to not give credit where credit is due. And this man to my left, Commissioner Wilton Simpson, has done more for agriculture. I would think he's gonna go down in the history books for doing the most. So thank you so much for being here today, and please say a few words.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Mayor. And it was a little bit like a homecoming today coming here. We have Senator Powell and Senator Bruzo and Senator Sachs and former President Atwater and Representative Rick Roth. And so I came here, it was like, oh, we almost have a quorum for the Florida Senate. Anyways, it's a real honor to be here. And we all know here that agriculture is a national security issue. Florida grows more than 70% of all the fresh vegetables grown on the eastern seaboard of the United States every year. We're very, very proud of those things, and we're very proud for this type of a recognition for agriculture because the most resilient folks amongst us are your farmers. The drought that we've had for the last 18 months, and by the way, be careful with wildfires and make sure you report it if you see it. But when you think about $3.1 billion of damage we've sustained here in the last few months from freezes, it's something that your farmers have to work through. We're very proud of the effort. We're very proud that Palm Beach is such a large agriculture community. Most people don't think of Palm Beach as of that, but it's a real honor to be here today and recognize agriculture. And remember, we all need a farmer 3 times a day. Thank you.
Not that quick. Hold on. With any amount of greatness, there's nothing we can do to say thank you enough. But what we can do in the meantime, and I would love everyone to join us on stage to take a picture with the proclamation, but we also want to present the commissioner with the key to Palm Beach County. If you would, please. Yeah, everyone. And there are 2. Keith, if you could grab another proclamation and hand one to someone else.
Yep.
Taking lots of photos.
I like that. Best part. Oh, yeah, I like that. I like that. You getting taller? I think he's growing, right? Smart man.
We don't want the corn in there.
Where's Shucky? Yeah, where's Shucky? Shucky!
It's not,
So you may have gotten too hot.
Shelby got to
Maybe.
Got everybody good?
fire rescues with Shelby.
Good, good.
Squeeze,
Hold on. Shucky, if you can hear me, we're requesting you on stage. Maybe.
Which camera would you look at?
Oh, he said 1 second. Yeah,
I would say that's impossible.
There he is.
missing his arms. All right, Chucky.
Now we're talking. Yay. All right. Done? 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, everyone.
Time out for everyone.
They're probably going to try to make you go that way, but if you want.
File some blood out of me. We'll see what happens. Now I'm meeting you.
Did you want to take a
How
picture?
are you? No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, ready?
We had to rush on redressing, so I said, we don't have time to put everything back. All of your data. You make it happen. Maybe one day.
Did he give us money here?
Anne Marie, picture.
Okay, I got bumped out. I was talking to them. That's when they
They
couldn't say
try,
that.
they try. Okay, here we go.
This is,
On one.
we
Yes.
have
On 2.
four
Ready?
streams, very
1,
and then I
2,
had
3.
this flood. 2 weeks ago, we had 5 inches of rain. We'll make it.
That's right. You're in the Senate now. We're not like a little representative down there, right? Right, you're in the Senate now. Go.
Oh, did I give her the wrong set? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Huh? What do you mean? I have 2 more.
Are we going in this order?
Ish.
Madam Mayor,
Keith? Yes.
just wanted to
Senator
say,
Powell?
so good to have vegetables here and corn and fruits that are not causing
Everyone,
problems.
if we could, please. Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's so good to have the agricultural community here, especially fruits and vegetables and shucky, the corn, that are not causing problems. If you've been watching social media, they have been stirring up some real trouble. But today we have really, really good vegetables of good character in the audience, and that makes a huge difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Keith, would you please like to say a few words?
I promise to keep it very short. On behalf of all the farmers here in Palm Beach County, thank y'all for everything that y'all do. It's great to know that we're in the #1 ag county in the east of the Mississippi and to have such strong leadership like y'all to help support us. So thank y'all very much and hope to see y'all at the Sweet Corn Fiesta a week from Sunday. So thank y'all.
Thank you so much. Seeing how I've gone, I'm going to rotate. So let's skip A and do B, C, D, and then I'll get to A. Okay? Let's just do B, C, D. So it'll be Commissioner Weiss, and then we will have Commissioner Flores, and then back to Commissioner Weiss.
Good morning. If I can have the folks from, for the drowning prevention proclamation, join me at the lectern. It's that time of the year.
It is that time of the year, yes.
All right.
Sure.
Well, we are declaring April 2026 as Drowning Prevention Awareness Month. Whereas accidental drowning is one of the leading causes of death of children ages 1 to 4 in South Florida, regardless of race, age, gender, socioeconomic background, drowning and non-fatal drowning incidents can occur. And during fiscal year 2025, the Drowning Prevention Coalition provided 413 water safety and drowning prevention activities and education programs, of which there were 26,365 Palm Beach County residents benefited. In the event of a lapse of supervision, other safety features that limit or delay the unintended access to water are critical components in drowning prevention. Through community action and organizational partnerships, promoting and educating about the importance of water safety and swimming lessons, Palm Beach County can achieve the goal of 0 preventable drownings. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners assembled in regular session on this 14th day of April 2026, that April 2026 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Drowning Prevention Awareness Month. And Anna, here, sorry, didn't mean to pump that up.
That's okay. Good morning, Board of County Commissioners. Thank you so much for your support in our life-saving endeavors, as well as to the Children's Services Council of Palm Beach County, and of course, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, where we are housed and managed. And I'm super excited that Palm Beach County Fire Rescue is now Ocean Rescue Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, so super excited about that. And I've been doing this for 22 years, and I'm still enjoying coming to work. Who can say that? Right? So I'm very fortunate, and Commissioner Weiss, unfortunately, I know this is gonna be the last year you're gonna be able to give us this proclamation, and I just want to extend my gratitude towards you for always supporting our organization.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, and while they're taking their picture, we are going to be proclaiming Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. And today we have a special visitor on the floor. So I want to invite Coco and the handler to come up, and I'm going to have our mayor read the bio for our pet of the day.
So today I would like to introduce Coco, a sweet 2-year-old rescue pup who is currently available for adoption through Palm Beach County Animal Rescue Care and Control. Coco was originally found as a puppy along the turnpike in 2023 and adopted shortly after, but due to a change in her owner's circumstances, she recently returned to the shelter. She has a gentle, medium energy temperament, does well with other dogs, and has even participated in community outings, including visits to the medical examiner's office and Palm Beach International Airport. Coco is looking for her forever home, and we hope someone watching today might be the perfect match.
All right, no pressure, but I believe.
No pressure, but Coco's amazing, and
yeah.
she needs a home.
And I think Commissioner Marino has a streak going. Every time we have a dog in the chambers, they get adopted, so we got to continue that today. All right, so this is all about recognizing the work that these great organizations around the county do with our pets. So I'm gonna take time and try to recognize everybody. But I would like to call up Jason Gluck from Furry Friends Humane, Jeanette Steele, Director of Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control, Sue Berry from Peggy Adams Animal Rescue League, Dawn Herman from Truly All Cats, Susie Goldsmith from Tri-County Animal Rescue, Laura Risker or Carson Johnson from the Ranch Rescue, Lori Simmons from Big Dog Ranch Rescue, Vanessa Solorzano from Kelly's Foster, Ashley Miller from South Florida Mutt Rescue, Ronnie Tenenbaum from Helping Paw 22 Rescue, Robin Blair from the Palm Beach Purse, Elizabeth Acamundo from Barky Pines Animal Rescue, Lisa Bogatin, I hope I pronounced that right, from All About the Cats Rescue, Katrin Calloway from Love a Pet Rescue, Helen Sears from AHA Rescue, you say that? Krista Loveless, from Friends of Strays, and Kim Collins from Friends of Strays. So these are all the folks that help the county manage our unsheltered pets. So we are declaring April 30th, 2026 as Adopt a Shelter Pet Day, whereas on April 30th, 2026, Adopt a Shelter Pet Day is celebrated across the United States to raise awareness for thousands of pets in shelters awaiting forever homes. And whereas Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control provides essential services to protect the health, safety, and welfare of animals and residents caring for thousands of animals each year in need of shelters and adoption. Whereas Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control works in partnership with dedicated rescue organizations, including, there's a long list, Furry Friends Humane, Peggy Adams Animal Rescue League, Truly All Cats, Trapping and Rescue, Humane Society of the Treasure Coast, Bella's Promise Pets Rescue, Tri-County Animal Rescue, Alley Cats Rescue, the Ranch Rescue, Big Dog Ranch Rescue, All About the Cats Rescue, Kelly's Foster, South Florida Mutt Rescue, Dr. Durkee Rescue, Love a Pet Rescue, Friends of Stray Animal Shelter, Dabster's Doggy and Dabster's Kitty, Helping Paw 22 Rescue, Palm Beach Purse, Barky Pines Animal Rescue, and AHA Rescue. And whereas these organizations play a critical role in rescuing, rehabilitating, and rehoming animals, collectively saving thousands of lives each year. And whereas adopting a pet not only provides a loving home to an animal in need, but also supports the ongoing efforts of local shelters and rescues to serve more animals. Whereas Adopt a Shelter Day raises awareness about the importance of pets adoptions, responsible pet ownership, encouraging residents to open their homes and hearts to animals in need, and to support the work of local shelters and rescue partners. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled on this regular session on the 14th day of April 2026, that April 30th, 2026 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. So is Jeanette going to speak? All right. You want to read all of them again?
No, I think I'll pass on that. Thank you, Commissioner Flores and all the commissioners. Good morning. Thank you for this recognition. On behalf of Animal Care and Control, I'm honored to accept this proclamation recognizing National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. This day is about more than awareness. It's about action. Every year, millions of dogs and cats enter shelters across the country, all waiting for a second chance at a safe, loving home. And while progress is being made, some animals remain especially vulnerable, particularly medium to large dogs like Coco here, and our older pets who are so often overlooked despite having so much love to give. Here in our region, we're part of a large and interconnected network, as you can see, hundreds of shelters and thousands of rescue organizations working together toward a common goal, saving lives. This collaboration is critical. At ACC, we're proud to partner with more than 200 rescues and shelters, both within Florida and across state lines. Because of those partnerships, more than 4,000 animals from our shelter found new opportunities last year alone, representing over 1/3 of all animals that came in through our doors. As a result, we've achieved a life-saving rate of 88%, including 92% for dogs. That is something we're incredibly proud of, but it's also something we know we cannot sustain without continued community support and strong partnerships. That's why today is also a call to action. If you've ever considered adding a pet to your family, now's the time. For the month of April, all ACC adoptions are just $15. And if adoption isn't your option, consider fostering or volunteering to make a life-saving difference. Every adoption opens up space. Every foster gives an animal time. Every volunteer extends arm reach. Together, these actions save lives. So again, thank you for this proclamation, for your support, and for helping us continue to do this important work. Because at the end of the day, this is not just about the animals in shelters. It's about building a community that values lives, compassion, responsibility, and second chances. Thank you.
While they're taking their picture, I would like to ask Mr. John Pescosolido to join me up here at the lectern. And of course, your friends and family that are here as well.
I think we need to move up.
Come on up. This is for you.
For all of our partners here.
Oh, yes, we got copies for everybody.
Did you know we have an owl
So
in the
everybody
room?
can have it for their shelters or for the rescues, but you guys can post
I would have thought it would be FAU.
Get settled.
Where, Janelle, do you have copies? On the other side.
Oh, maybe.
Good morning. We are here this morning to honor John C. Pescosolido for his dedicated service to our community. Whereas John C. Pescosolido has served Palm Beach County with compassion, integrity, and an unwavering commitment for more than 15 years in leadership roles, including serving as Chief Executive Officer for the past 2 years at St. Anne Place Outreach Center, an organization dedicated to serving individuals and families experiencing homelessness with dignity and respect. St. Anne Place Outreach Center, founded in 2002 as a ministry of St. Anne Church and operating under the Diocese of Palm Beach until becoming an independent nonprofit organization with its own 501c3 status, continues its mission of service under Mr. Pescosolido's leadership. Whereas under his leadership, St. Anne Place has expanded its impact by providing essential services, including daily meals, showers, laundry services, clothing distribution, food pantry assistance, medical support, and vital identification services to tens of thousands of individuals each year. Mr. Pescosolido is a hands-on leader who works directly alongside staff and volunteers, assisting with client intake, food preparation, laundry distribution, and daily operations, demonstrating servant leadership in action. He has fostered strategic partnerships and community relationships that strengthen the organization's reach and sustainability, while overseeing fundraising and development efforts that support long-term solutions to homelessness. And his leadership reflects a deep belief in second chances and economic opportunity, exemplified by helping individuals transition from crisis to stability, employment, and ultimately self-sufficiency. Whereas John C. Pescosolido, lifelong commitment to service, faith, and community betterment has made a lasting and meaningful difference in the lives of countless individuals across Palm Beach County. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 14th day of April 2026, that the board is honoring John C. Pescosolido for dedicated service to our community. Congratulations, sir, and thank you for all you have done and will continue to do.
Thank you to the Palm Beach County Commissioners for this meaningful proclamation. I'm truly honored and deeply grateful to be recognized in this way. It is both a privilege and a responsibility to serve individuals experiencing homelessness and to be a part of the work being done at St. Anne Place. Every day, I have the opportunity to connect with people who are navigating difficult circumstances, and I am continually inspired by their strength, resilience, and dignity. This recognition is not just about me. It reflects the collective efforts of a compassionate community committed to helping those in need. I am proud to stand along so many dedicated individuals and organizations working to make a difference in this community. Thank you again for this honor. It reinforces the importance of the work and strengthens my commitment to continue serving with empathy, respect, and purpose.
Good morning again. At this time, I would like to invite Lady Hereford, Joanne Keller, Kenny Rampersad, Daniela Patel, I'm reading first names, April, Jackie, Sarai, Matt, Tara, Elise, Ryan, Terry, Kristen, David, and all representatives from Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, and our Engineering and Public Works Department, who work together to keep our construction zone safe, as well as any other work zone safety partners who are with us today. Please come forward to accept this proclamation.
Every day, road construction and utility crews work just feet away from moving traffic. These dedicated professionals operate in high-risk conditions to keep our roads safe and improve the infrastructure of Palm Beach County.
Our crews are on the roadway every day, clearing out storm drains and roadways, just feet from passing cars, which puts us at risk from drivers not paying attention or slowing down.
The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office Traffic Divisions hold drivers accountable through enforcement and education. Help us protect our work zones as we get drivers safely to their destinations.
Being out here with the crews can be dangerous with traffic speeding by us. Just like you, we want to home to our families safely at the end of the day.
When accidents happen in work zones, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue crews provide emergency care, rescue, and help secure the area to protect both the workers and the public. Remember, Florida's move over law requires drivers to move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit when approaching emergency or service vehicles.
Slow down.
Stay alert. Protect our crews.
Last year alone, 645 crashes occurred near construction sites in Palm Beach County. That's why work zone safety matters. Operation Orange is a countywide initiative reminding everyone that we all play a role in work zone safety. It is a call to action for every driver. When you see orange cones, warning signs, or a safety vest, you are entering a work zone where lives are on the line.
Thank you so much to all these amazing stars in the video for being here today. We are declaring April 20th to 24th, 2026 as National Work Zone Awareness Week. Whereas National Work Zone Awareness Week is an initiative aimed at promoting the importance of safety in work zones, not only for road crews, engineers, utility workers, and contractors performing their jobs in high-risk environments, often with heavy machinery, traffic, and limited visibility, but also for the safety of our motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians. Whereas the high-risk conditions in work zones lead to an increased vulnerability to accidents, with 645 fatalities in Palm Beach County work zones in 2025. Increased awareness and adherence to safety protocols can decrease the number of accidents and fatalities. Palm Beach County's Engineering and Public Works Department and Water Utility Departments prioritize the safety of their staff working along the roadways during the construction, improvement, and maintenance of the county's transportation systems, water, and wastewater infrastructure, including meter boxes, fire hydrants, and pipelines. Whereas Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office Traffic Division works in partnership with Engineering and Public Works and water utilities to enhance roadway safety through proactive traffic enforcement and monitoring in and around work zones, crash reductions initiatives, and public educational outreach designed to protect both workers and the traveling public. Whereas Palm Beach County Fire Rescue reminds all vehicle operators that Florida's move over law requires drivers to move over a lane for an emergency service utility or other vehicle stopped on the side of the road. It is unsafe. If unsafe to move over, the driver is required to slow down to 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. Whereas for the betterment of our communities, Palm Beach County encourages the public to slow down when encountering road work, remain alert, follow posted signs, and be patient. Whereas National Work Zone Awareness Week serves as a reminder that road work is necessary to maintain our infrastructure, which provides critical county services to our residents, and that it can present unique hazards that require the cooperation of both workers and the public to ensure safety for all. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners, Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 14th day of April, that this is National Work Zone Awareness Week.
Thank you, Mayor Baxter, on behalf of all of us here for supporting this important proclamation. National Work Zone Safety Week is just 1 week, but practicing safe driving near work zones is a year-round activity. Thank you to Palm Beach County Water Utilities, Fire Rescue, and PBSO for partnering with EPW to share this message. We also want to remind everyone, Florida's move over law requires drivers to move over a lane or slow down 20 miles an hour below the posted speed limit. And lastly, we want to remind everyone to please wear orange on Wednesday, April 22nd to help us spread the word about work zone safety. Thank you.
Captain Mugridge.
You called me out. And on behalf of Sheriff Bradshaw, I just want to say thank you to the county commissioners and mayor for sponsoring this proclamation. It has been an honor to work with the county engineering, fire rescue, and we just want to make sure everybody gets to work safely. So thank you.
Thank you. If everyone can come over here, we'll take a group picture.
Okay, while they take their picture, I'm going to ask the Boca Raton attendees to please come forward. Daniel Hostetler, President and CEO at the Boca Raton, Ekram Horaglu, Vice President and General Manager of the Beach Club, Antonia Korosek, Vice President of Resort Operations, and Corinne Hill, Vice President of Hotel Operations. And sorry if I said your names wrong. Okay. Today, we are recognizing the Boca Raton's centennial celebration and its quadruple Forbes 5-star achievement. Whereas the Boca Raton originally opened in 1926 as the Ritz-Carlton Cloister Inn and has remained a defining institution within the city of Boca Raton and a landmark destination within Palm Beach County for 100 years. Whereas throughout its century of operation, the Boca Raton has contributed significantly to the economic vitality, employment base, and cultural identity of the city and county. Whereas in 2026, during its centennial year, the Boca Raton was awarded 24 stars by Forbes Travel Guide, including 4 prestigious 5-star ratings across the Beach Club, Yacht Club, Spa Palmera, and the Flybridge Restaurant. And whereas this distinction establishes the Boca Raton as the only quadruple Forbes 5-star resort in all of the Americas, and one of only 7 properties worldwide to achieve this recognition. And whereas this achievement enhances the global profile of Boca Raton and Palm Beach County as premier destinations for luxury travel and hospitality. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 14th day of April 2026, that the Board recognizes the Boca Raton's centennial celebration and its quadruple Forbes 5-star achievement. Congratulations.
Thank you very much to the council. On behalf of the 2,200 members of the Boca Raton, we really appreciate this recognition.
And while they're taking their pictures, we're going to go on to our next proclamation tonight. This is the proclamation for Dark Sky Awareness Month, so I'd like to invite anyone involved with this. Allison, Eric, Ronaldo, are you here?
Hey, you. What? My staff is saying that you got upset about something about a dog. Did you get upset?
I have to tell you, my mother hated darkness. She still does. She hates darkness, and one of the reasons we moved to Florida was so she could have sunshine almost all the time. So she's not a dark sky person. However, the reason for that was because when it was night, she wasn't happy. Not that happy. Daylight and bright sunshine makes her happier. So everyone has, some, and it was interesting because there was a study saying that shorter days affect your brain. So anyway, sorry, got off track. This is the proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners declaring April 20, 2026 as Dark Sky Awareness Month. Whereas light pollution is artificial light with adverse impacts to the environment, especially at night, and includes excessive light that causes glare and trespass, disrupts ecosystems, wastes natural resources, energy, and money, there are scientifically established economic and environmental consequences that significantly impact the wildlife and human health of all communities. And whereas protecting the night sky and quality of the nocturnal environment provides many benefits to Palm Beach County communities, including neighborhood livability, safety, quality of life, and access to nature, and whereas the opportunity to view star-filled skies over Everglades National Park and other areas within Florida with limited light pollution attracts tourists, giving pride and economic benefit to Palm Beach County, and whereas light pollution impacts many wildlife species in our region, including sea turtles nesting along our coastline, corals vital to marine life and local coastal economies, and essential pollinators such as bats and butterflies, and whereas solving the problem of light pollution requires educating governments, communities, businesses, and citizens, and encouraging neighbor and ecological-friendly night lighting best practices effective in preventing and reducing light pollution, and whereas Dark Sky International has designated April 13th through 19th, 2026, as International Dark Sky Week 2026 to draw awareness to light pollution, its far-reaching impacts, and solutions to mitigate it, and whereas Palm Beach County wishes to raise awareness throughout April 2026 to encourage greater and broader opportunities for public participation. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 14th day of April 2026, that April 2026 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Dark Sky Awareness Month. Maybe one of these days we can see the northern lights all the way down here. I don't know. Would you like to say something? Yes.
So first, I would like to thank you, Commissioner Marino, as well as the rest of the Board of County Commissioners for designating this April 2026 as Dark Sky Awareness Month. As you know, many sea turtles nest along our shores, and our coastlines would not be as magnificent as they are if it was not for our coral reefs and all of the animals that depend upon them. Unfortunately, these amazing creatures are so vulnerable to light pollution, and it is one of the easiest types of pollution to mitigate. It's also something that obstructs us from being able to see the beautiful night sky, which is so vital to our culture here as humans, as well as to many other cultures around the world and our understanding of ourselves. But I'd also like to recognize Professor Vandernoot here from FAU, because I would not have even known about light pollution if it wasn't for students that introduced me to him when I was an undergrad and told me to ask him about light pollution. So I'd like for him to take the mic because I know he'll do this better justice than me.
I like your tie, by the way.
Thank you very much. Hi, County. How are you? My name is Eric Vandernoot. I run the Astronomical Observatory at Florida Atlantic University. I teach classes in physics and in astronomy, and I'm very much interested in the issues of light pollution because how I see it affects me personally, but only through doing volunteer work at Gumbo Limbo Nature Center, recognizing the effect it happens on sea turtles, opened my eyes up to a huge more biological effect on life itself and how light affects it. Did you know that half of all life begins its daily activities at sundown? Our artificial light at night is literally interfering with half of all life. It's not just the fact that you have sea turtles, it's not just the coral reefs or the stuff, insects. You all drive around in Palm Beach County, right? When was the last time you actually scraped a dead bug off your windshield? Yeah, a long, you know why? Because lights at night have a vacuum cleaner effect that basically depletes insects out from the actual natural environments. Even gas stations actually have notices upon their information that clearly states if you put up a big light on it, you'll see insects swarm to your gas station. Even if you're out in the remote location itself, you'll see insects swarm to your gas station, but only for 2 years. After that, you will have depleted out the actual insect environment around your environment, and you won't have to worry about it anymore. Okay? Insects are at the bottom level of the food pyramid that literally leads every single layer up towards the top itself. So if you get rid of the insects, you get rid of the insects and the spiders that depend upon them. You get rid of the birds that depend upon them and so forth. And it cascades all the way up the food pyramid until the actual top predators in the species system actually depletes as well. You get rid of fish. These are creatures that eventually we all depend on, possibly for companions, but also for food. So you're literally depleting out the protein pair. I could literally talk a brass monkey's ear off, and I'm clearly being told I gotta stop.
We've got work to do, so I'm
I
getting
get
the
that.
hook.
Half of all life, it starts at their activity at nighttime. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no. Sorry. You know what? Afterwards, if you want to meet up with a professor and get more information, that would be fabulous.
All right. Yes, I could stop. Or should stop.
No, when you're passionate, it's fabulous.
I get that. You just seem to be pretty busy.
Okay. While they take their picture, I have the Park RX Day attendees. Please come forward. I have Jennifer Cirillo, Paul Connell, Jackie Lambert, Chris Korbalek, Alyssa Tajari, Bunny Dodson, Jean Rizzo, Amy Pepper, Ashley Aronis, Alan St. Remy, and Dr. Monica Roundtree-Cleckley. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced any names. Okay, today we are declaring April 25th, 2026 as Park RX Day, or is it Park Prescription Day? All right, I like RX. Okay. Whereas spending time in nature, a park prescription, or Park RX, is a proven, accessible way to improve physical health, reduce stress, enhance mental well-being, and strengthen community connections. And whereas the ParkRx movement connects healthcare providers with park agencies to prescribe visits to local parks to support healthy lifestyles and prevent chronic disease. And whereas parks serve as essential components of public health infrastructure, offering opportunities for walking, social interaction, and mental restoration. And whereas Palm Beach County recognizes the importance of connecting all people to local parks for their physical, mental, and spiritual health. And whereas the Palm Beach County Parks and Recreation Department supports this effort through its ParkRx initiative and its free interactive booklet, Prescription for Healthy, Happy Living, which empowers individuals to take charge of their health by utilizing Palm Beach County's free and low-cost park amenities, promoting nature-based wellness and countywide access to health-supportive environments. And whereas National Park RX Day is recognized during National Park Week each April, and Palm Beach County remains committed to highlighting the value of nature-based wellness. And whereas Park RX Day serves as a reminder and call to action for residents and visitors to take a dose of nature to improve their overall health and well-being. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 14th day of April 2026, that April 25th, 2026 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Park RX Day.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Woodward, and for the Commission for supporting Park RX Day. Palm Beach County has a long history of providing wellness to its residents. In fact, in 2016, the Palm Beach County Medical Society awarded the Parks and Recreation Department the Heroes in Medicine Award, recognizing since 1951 the inception of Parks and Recreation, providing wellness and health opportunities to the county. It was about the same time in 2016 where we were inspired by Dr. Czar's national movement of the Park RX movement. And we focused on working with local doctors who understood that they're getting outdoors and getting active were important. And so we developed relationships with them, and we created custom prescription pads. They were prescribing to their patients outdoor times in the county parks. And over the years, this developed into the booklet today that you see and that we have with us and that we're passing around. And so that's available to everybody, not just through the doctor's offices. And at the same time, I also want to recognize some of our partners who are here with us today. One of our earlier partners who got started with us maybe 10 years or so ago is Healthy Me, and they're located in Jupiter, as well as the Healthcare District in Palm Beach County. They were also one of our early partners. And I'm also grateful for the support of Dr. Monica Roundtree Cleckley, Clinical Director of FAU Westgate UBK Health Centers, who's been working with the Westgate Recreation Center and the surrounding community. And overall, just thank you for recognizing Park RX, and hope to see you out there in Park RX Day in our parks.
And while they're taking their photo, the next proclamation is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. So Matt and team, there's a lot of names on this list. So how about everybody who wants to be in this picture, come on up. Good to see you. So this is a proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, declaring April 2026 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires an action from everyone. Whereas Palm Beach County recognizes that our children are most valuable resources and will shape the future of our county, state, and nation. And whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And whereas protective factors and positive childhood experiences are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas Palm Beach County acknowledges the Center for Child Counseling as a leading community partner in preventing and healing the effects of childhood adversity and trauma. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between mental health and child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to mitigate adverse childhood experiences, also known as ACEs, and environments while promoting programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families. Whereas we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in safe, stable, and nurturing environments. Whereas prevention remains the best defense and protection for our children and our families. So now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, assembled in regular session on this 14th day of April, that April 2026 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Matt, you want to say, who wants to say that?
Thank you, Commissioner Marino. Thank you to entire Board of County Commissioner and staff for recognizing the importance of preventing children in our community. As we say at Center for Child Counseling, we do not have to wait for child to fall apart emotionally to do something about it. We can invest in everyone, build capacity for everyone who works and lives with children through education, prevention, and early intervention to act as buffers and/or mitigate the effects of negative experience and adversity, assuring healthy outcomes from positive experiences. Thank you again for recognizing.
Good morning. While they take that picture, I'd like to have Helen Cohen, past president of the American Society of Landscape Architects, along with Ms. Emily O'Mahony, past Florida president of the American Society of Landscape Architects and trustee and fellow of American Society of Landscape Architects, and past national president of the American Society of Landscape Architects and trustee, as well as Casey Criken, Palm Beach County Streetscape. Thank y'all for joining us here this morning. This is a proclamation declaring April 2026 as Landscape Architecture Month. Whereas landscape architecture encompasses the analysis, planning, design, and stewardship of the natural and built environment, translating vision into action to shape places that are healthy, safe, and resilient. And April 2026 is recognized as Professional Landscape Architecture Month, celebrating the licensed professionals whose expertise in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is essential to the infrastructure and quality of life in Palm Beach County. The licensed practice of landscape architecture is a critical safeguard for public health, safety, and welfare, ensuring that outdoor environments from therapeutic gardens and playgrounds to complex stormwater and transportation systems are designed with technical rigor and ethical responsibility. And landscape architects are uniquely qualified to address a changing climate through resilient and sustainable green infrastructure design strategies that restore ecosystems, mitigate environmental hazards, and reduce the long-term financial burden of disaster recovery on state and local governments. And whereas landscape architecture is a regulated profession in all 50 states, and the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation ensures the highest standards of professional competence through rigorous education, experience, and examination requirements. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 14th day of April 2026, that April 2026 is hereby proclaimed Landscape Architecture Month. Be it further proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, that this proclamation is duly sealed, ribboned, and executed by the members of this board. The foregoing proclamation was sponsored by the Commissioner Bobby Powell Jr., and upon unanimous consent of the board, the mayor declares the proclamation duly enacted. Helen. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Powell. Good morning, Mayor, Commissioners, and County staff. My name is Helen Cohn, immediate past president of the Florida chapter of the American Society of Landscape Architects. It is an honor to accept this proclamation on behalf of our chapter and the more than 1,300 licensed landscape architects across Florida. Thank you for recognizing April 2026 as Landscape Architecture Month in Palm Beach County. Your proclamation affirms the vital role our profession plays in shaping healthy, safe, and resilient communities. Landscape architects blend science, technology, engineering, and design to create public spaces, parks, stormwater systems, transportation corridors, and natural areas that protect public welfare and enhance our quality of life. We deeply appreciate the county's acknowledgement of the technical rigor, ethical responsibility, and environmental stewardship that define our work. Palm Beach County has long been a leader in sustainable planning and green infrastructure, and we are proud to collaborate with you in advancing resilient solutions through well-planned and thoughtfully designed communities. On behalf of ASLA Florida, thank you for this recognition and your continued commitment to the landscapes and communities we all share. Thank you, Commissioner.
Have Commissioner Powell read mine. That's pretty good, Commissioner Powell. All right, let's get together for sharing. Come on up here, Dr. Ackerman. You know, there is no cure for Parkinson's disease, but we are not going to stop there. We're going to do everything we can to fight and to find a cure together for this horrendous disease that affects so many of our friends and families today. That was done by a man by the name of Dr. George Ackerman, who stands with me here today. He created an organization in 2020 for memory of his wonderful mom, Sharon Riff Ackerman, a very courageous woman who valiantly battled Parkinson's disease for 18 years. So, with the purpose of preserving her memory, increasing awareness of Parkinson's disease, and fostering, no matter what, fostering hope for a cure, we have dedicated this month of April Together for Sharon Day, the whole month actually. So using his own personal funds, he designed a wristband bearing the inscriptions in memory of Sharon Riff Ackerman, Parkinson's Disease Awareness, and Together for Sharon, to raise awareness of Parkinson's disease. I remember personally Janet Reno, who was state attorney in Miami many years ago, in the 70s, and then became the first woman attorney general of the United States. I remember seeing her hand shake and then having to take the medicine, which many times towards the end she refused because it dulled her brain and she wanted to be sharp always in her job. The Ackerman family and their volunteers honor the memory of Sharon by supporting individuals currently battling Parkinson's disease while contributing directly to Parkinson's foundations Dr. Ackerman has published several books. I have one in my office. If anybody is interested, you can certainly see. And I think he's brought a couple with him today. Dr. Ackerman at the end of our program today. To inform others and raise awareness and foster support for those affected by the disease. So the family expresses profound gratitude when advocating and sharing inspiration through social media. And I want you to know that on April 11th, if any of you were in West Palm Beach and you looked up, you could see the lights shine blue on our historic courthouse in memory of Sharon and all the people today who are suffering from this chronic progressive neurological disorder, which is the second most common neurodegenerative disease in the United States, affecting 1 million people with an economic burden of $61 billion annually. So throughout this month, Dr. Ackerman, because of your work and your dedication, not only in honor of your mom, but all those who suffer from this horrendous disease, we will remember. We will remember, we will not forget, and we will all of us fight for a cure together against Parkinson's disease. Thank you so much, Dr. Ackerman. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm deeply honored and grateful to the Palm Beach County for this proclamation recognizing Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month. On behalf of the Parkinson's community, patients, caregivers, families, advocates, and researchers, thank you for seeing us. Thank you for supporting us and standing with us. I also had the honor to actually represent Florida through the Michael J. Fox Foundation to go to the Capitol for 2 years in D.C. to speak with our representatives to advocate toward a cure. Parkinson's disease affects nearly 1.2 million Americans and 10 million worldwide. But behind every statistic is a person, a parent, a spouse, a grandparent, a friend whose life has been changed by this disease. Parkinson's does not just affect those diagnosed, it impacts entire families and communities. Also, unfortunately, I don't like using that term much, but numbers of those diagnosed will rise from 1.2 million today, and they approximately feel over 15 million in only 15 more years. For me, this work is obviously personal. I'm an attorney here in Florida and DC. I'm also a police officer, and my PhD is in criminal justice, but and I've dedicated my whole life to helping victims of crime, but it all went on pause 6 years ago when I lost my mother, Sharon, who lived with Parkinson's, as the commissioner said, for 18 years, and her strength, grace, and love continue to inspire everything we do through Together for Sharon. What began as a way to honor her has grown into a global community of over more than 80,000 people united by hope, support, and the shared belief that no one should ever face this disease alone. This proclamation is more than a symbolic gesture, it's a call to action, and it reminds us of the importance of awareness, early diagnosis, research funding, caregiver support, and also compassion. It reminds us that together through advocacy, education, and collaboration, we can truly improve the quality of life today while fighting relentlessly for a cure tomorrow. I want to especially thank the county commissioners here, Palm Beach, and the leadership of each and every one of you. Thank you for your commitment to public health and to help amplify the voices of those affected by Parkinson's disease and myself, caregivers. Your support sends a powerful message of inclusion, understanding, and hope. Special thanks, of course, to Commissioner Sachs, Janet, and the entire staff. They're always there for me literally all year round, not just today. We will continue to fight for our loved ones, for our future generations, and for a world without Parkinson's disease. I just want to thank you all. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for standing with us. My mother, I still feel, lives on through all of us. And just so you know, we kind of wrapped up, published books, but didn't want to specifically on Parkinson, but just fell into the world because of caregiving. And we just recently published a children's book. And the reason I really fight today is I still have trouble telling my 3 kids what happened to their grandmother. So thank you. This is for each of you.
Dr. Ackerman, I have 3 little grandsons at home, so I'm going to take one. But I'd like to offer other folks, other commissioners as well. It is really it's a heart-wrenching disease. And this is a way that we can find a cure, all of us together, for Sharon and for all the folks who are suffering through this disease. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, let's get the picture.
And while they take that picture, can I have Doug Crane, the Director of the Library Department, Tammy Fields, the Deputy County Administrator, and all library staff who are currently here to join us at the podium. What a wonderful community we live in. As you all know, it starts in parks, but it carries in libraries. You know what I mean? As we talk about libraries, you know, I'm all about reading, but there's so many things that are happening in our libraries here in Palm Beach County. I was reading the newsletter yesterday. There's 24/7 tutoring, 24/7 tutoring, which means we shouldn't have any kids in Palm Beach County failing. If they can get a library card, they can be tutored. They can read books, they can get on the internet, and anytime I travel with my family, we look for a library as a point of reference and a place to be involved. Now, this proclamation declares April 19th through the 25th, 2026, as National Library Week. This is indeed a proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida. Whereas, libraries are essential institutions that promote literacy, lifelong learning, and equal access to information for all residents of Palm Beach County. And the Palm Beach County Library System has a vision to open minds to a world of unlimited opportunities and a mission to connect communities, inspire thought, and enrich lives by providing free resources, activities, and services that enhance the lives of individuals, families, and communities. And libraries serve as welcoming community hubs that foster innovation, creativity, and connection, offering access to technology, educational support, workforce development resources, and cultural experiences. And the Palm Beach County Library System's year-long Rediscover Reading campaign encourages residents to reconnect with the joy of reading for pleasure, highlighting the benefits of its personal growth, mental well-being, and social connection. National Library Week 2026 is an opportunity to recognize the vital role of libraries and dedicated library staff members play in strengthening our democracy, supporting an informed and engaged public, and ensuring inviting high-quality services that meet the evolving needs of residents. And whereas the Palm Beach County Board of County Commissioners encourages all residents to visit their local libraries, participate in Rediscover Reading initiatives, explore available resources, and celebrate the transformative power of reading and knowledge. Now, therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 14th day of April 2026, that April 19th through the 25th of 2026 in Palm Beach County is proclaimed National Library Week. Be it further proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of the Palm Beach County, Florida, that this proclamation is duly sealed, written, and executed by the members of this board. The foregoing proclamation was sponsored by Commissioner Bobby Powell, Jr., and upon unanimous consent, the mayor declared the proclamation duly enacted. Mr. Craig.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Powell, and thank you, Board of County Commissioners, for your ongoing support of our public libraries. Without your support, we could not be doing what we're doing today, and for the generous support of our taxpayers who continue to come out to libraries in droves. And my simple invitation here is please plan a trip to your local public library during National Library Week. Come inside, find something that maybe you haven't seen before. Come to an activity, check out an item that you haven't checked out in the past, and please join us as we rediscover reading as a community for its health and wellness benefits. Thank you all, and I'll look forward to seeing you all at the library.
Very nice. Now, if I could have Miriam A. Turnen, Nerva Augustin, and Jennifer Preston. You come on up, because we are going to be honoring some very special people who do very special things during a very nervous time of our lives. Neurodynamics is the practice of analyzing and monitoring central and peripheral nervous system function to promote the effective treatment of neurological diseases, injury, and impairment. So this Neurodiagnostic Week, which is April 19th through the 25th, highlights in many ways in which neurodiagnostic professionals work to ensure the health of all Americans through advocacy, education, and research. This week-long event fosters pride in the profession and in the individual accomplishments of neurodiagnostic technologists nationwide. Now, if you don't know what neurodiagnostic technologists do, let me tell you what it is. It's a very important role in the diagnosis and treatment of a variety of neurological conditions, including epilepsy, coma, sleep disorders, and spinal cord injuries. So during surgical treatment, these technologists contribute by monitoring the central and periphery nervous system during high-risk procedures, such as surgery for scoliosis, carotid artery disease, brain tumors, and spine trauma, guarding against neurological complications during surgery, and helping to reduce the risk of negative surgical outcomes. So they are engaged in lifelong learning, dedicated to a life of service and compassion. And we dedicate this life, this week, to the lives that you have saved and what you do for all of us. Because you are dedicated to the best interests of the patient while providing the highest quality patient care. Therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners, Palm Beach County, Florida, that April 19th to 25, 2026, in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Neurodiagnostic Week. Thank you so much. And come on up and say a few words. Thank you.
I got nominated.
Oh, is that a lucky one, right? Take your time. It's okay.
Good.
Take your time.
Thank you, Commissioner Sachs and Mayor Baxter. This is in recognition of Neurodiagnostic Week, and while we work at Joe DiMaggio, this is for all neurodiagnosticians in the United States as well as Florida, and we just appreciate you guys very much.
Thank you. We appreciate you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
Thank you very much.
At this time, I would like to invite Nicole Bishop, Emily Blaylock, Jennifer Diaz, and representatives from the Palm Beach County Victim Services of Palm Beach County Public Safety Department, and any survivors who feel comfortable joining us to please come forward to accept this proclamation. Good morning. Today, we are declaring April 2026 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, whereas April 2026 marks the 25th anniversary of Sexual Assault Awareness Month being formally recognized nationwide, providing an opportunity to honor the history of the movement while reaffirming our commitment to a safer future. Whereas the 2026 theme, 25 Years Stronger, Looking Back, Moving Forward, highlights the progress made in survivor-centered care and the ongoing work required to end sexual violence. Whereas in 2025, Palm Beach County Public Safety Department's Division of Victim Services provided 15,827 services for 588 survivors, including conducting 214 forensic exams and answering 6,213 helpline calls, demonstrating the vital need for trauma-informed support in our community. Whereas sexual violence is a widespread issue that affects people of all genders, ages, and backgrounds, and we must work collectively to address its root causes through education, accountability, and prevention. Whereas a proclamation from the leadership of Palm Beach County serves as a powerful testament to survivors that they are believed, supported, and valued as members of our community. Therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 14th day of April 2026, that April 2026 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Thank you. Good morning, Mayor Baxter and Commissioners. Thank you for this proclamation, and more importantly, thank you for your continued support of victim services and survivors in Palm Beach County. Your leadership sends a clear message that survivors matter, that this work matters, and that our community is committed to standing with those impacted by violence. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and this year marks 25 years of national recognition and well over 4 decades of service to survivors here in Palm Beach County. These are important milestones, but also a reminder that while we've made progress, there is still work to be done. Over the past year alone, victim advocates, many standing here behind me, have provided more than 15,000 services to nearly 600 survivors who are our neighbors, our colleagues, and our children. That means someone had a place to turn in the middle of the night, someone was met with compassion instead of judgment, and someone did not have to navigate the system alone. This month, through initiatives like our Field of Hope display, featuring 588 flags in 2 displays across the county, one right out here in front of the historic courthouse, we're honoring survivors and making their presence visible. Each one of those flags represents a person who reached out for help and reminds us that there are 6 times that many who have not reached out for help. We're also engaging the community through events like our awareness walks, our self-defense training, because ending sexual violence requires all of us. To our survivors, we see you, we believe you, and we will continue to stand beside you. And to this board and county administration, thank you for standing with us in this work.
All right, we got one last proclamation. While they take that picture, we're going to be declaring Earth Day proclamation. And if I can have the Director of Parks and Recreation, Jennifer Cirillo, Paul Connell, Tammy Burton, the Environmental Manager at Parks and Recreation, Cliff Battle, Deb Drum, our Director of Environmental Resources Management, Matthew King, Kristen Bernstein, I hope I said that right, I apologize, Stacey Caceres, Casey Prankham, Susan Gash, Jamie Bosio, Keith Clinksdale, Marcella Millett, and Shinakay Haley's. I apologize. All right. We are declaring April 22nd, 2026 as Earth Day. Whereas this year marks the 56th anniversary of Earth Day, a globally recognized day to focus on the environmental on the environment, and which is credited with launching the modern environmental movement. And whereas science continues to support how critical the environment is for mental and physical health, whereas residents have been champions of efforts in Palm Beach County to address environmental issues, such as the restoration and enhancement of natural areas, including wild and scenic Loxahatchee River, parks, beaches, the Lake Worth Lagoon estuary, and protecting sea turtles and manatee habitats. And whereas Palm Beach County is committed to mitigating our climate impact by planning for resilient infrastructure and promoting sustainable development. And whereas the results of local environmental restoration efforts are being realized through the returns of rare birds species, the emergence of new businesses focus on ecotourism and increase awareness in the Palm Beaches as a world-class ecotourism destination. And whereas family-friendly Earth Day celebration will be hosted by Palm Beach County Parks and Recreation at Okeechobee, Green Cay, Daggering Wind Nature Center, with more information at pbcnature.com. With additional community events and conservation initiatives being offered through Palm Beach County Libraries and the Department of Environmental Resource Management. And whereas Palm Beach County Strategic Planning and Performance Management Environmental Protection Cross-Department Team, made up of 9 departments, is one of 7 strategic priorities promoting programs and activities that protect, preserve, and enhance natural resources while providing sustainable living and developing a climate of resilience. And whereas Palm Beach County continues to preserve the rights of all the residents for a healthy, sustainable environment while fostering environmentally responsible economic growth and opportunities. Now therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled on this regular session on the 14th day of April 2026, that April 22nd, 2026 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Earth Day. All right.
On behalf of the Parks and Recreation Department and our Environmental Protection Cross-Department team, I want to thank Commissioner Flores for sponsoring this proclamation declaring April 22nd Earth Day. Many departments in our Environmental Protection Cross-Department team are hosting Earth Day events to help celebrate. Please check the county websites for more information. Again, thank you, Commissioner Flores, for sponsoring this proclamation, and remember, every day is a good day to promote environmental awareness. Thank you.
Well, that was amazing, everyone. That will conclude our proclamations for this morning. We are going to move on to regular agenda. We did consent. Okay, so item 5A1 is community services. Does anyone need a presentation?
Commission on Ethics, isn't it?
Or am I reading the wrong?
5A1's Commission on Ethics,
Excuse me, I was reading 3.
and this is to update us in compliance with state law, so I'd go ahead and make a motion to approve it.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward, a third by Commissioner Marino. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. And we will move on. Here we are, to engineering, 5B1. This is just for a public hearing to allow for school zone speed detections. That will be on page 63. I would like a presentation, thank you. If we could make it.
I will do my best to do 3 minutes or less.
Thank you. We like the hard hat, too.
I might need it, I don't know. Commissioners, thank you. Joanne Keller with the Engineering Department. We are here to talk about the speed zone detection systems, and I've got a lot of partners with us at the table today. It took a long time to get here. Okay. As you know, the law changed in the state of Florida to allow camera detections, but before that happens, local governments have to first enact an ordinance. We received board direction to do that. There's been significant research to show higher speeds and pedestrians have conflicts, and Florida ranks as the second in the nation for pedestrian accidents. Based on our safety records, PBSO provided a list of 40 out of 53 schools in unincorporated areas that would benefit from these safety improvements. Here's the list on the screen, and the next two slides are broken down by district. So District 1 through 4 there, and 5 through 7. You'll see that the number of schools in each district is not spread evenly, but that's because some districts have more schools within municipalities, and those speed cameras under the municipality's authority are under their authority in those locations.
Can you go back to District 3?
Maybe? How do I go back?
Do the left. There you go.
Okay. Oh, District 3.
All your schools are in cities.
5, 6, 7. Here's just an example. And for this example, and I know you can't probably read it up there, but Acreage Pines had a total of 2,960 vehicles traveling over 11 miles per hour over the speed limit in just the morning peak hours in 3 days. The total violation is $100, and it's broken down as shown on the screen. I won't go through this, but this breaks down the violation process and how the vendor handles these. And this slide shows that vehicle owners can appeal the NOV through the vendor portal. And our hearing location proposed would be the South County Courthouse. If an appeal is unsuccessful, the vehicle owner will be charged hearing costs. And we do have our county attorney here in case there's any questions on the pending litigation.
Yes, David, you're recognized. If you would please update us.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. So, as it stands currently, the law which was on the first slide, which is authorizing this program, has been declared unconstitutional by a Broward County Circuit Court judge.
Could you speak more into
The matter is currently before the 4th District Court of Appeal and will be binding on the county should it be upheld.
So it was found unconstitutional to do this in Broward?
Yes, was.
And now they are appealing it?
So the Broward prosecutor's office is the entity who is appealing. And if that appeal is upheld by the court, in other words, if they find what the Broward County Circuit Court judge issued to be correct, then it would render this program void.
And how much would this program cost for us to implement?
Do you want me to answer that? Nothing at this point? At this point, nothing to the county. The vendor would install the cameras at their own expense.
And you're saying that if they did all that, they would do it, because if this gets appealed, then they would have to uninstall everything, would they not?
Correct.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
So, Attorney Audie, how long do you think that legal process could potentially take?
That I cannot predict with any accuracy. Sometimes
I thought the
an appeal
courts now had to see cases within a certain amount of time.
can be a month, it can be a year, it can be more than a year.
Yeah. So it could be longer. I'm stuck on this one because I would hate to have a third party make investments throughout the county and then be told that we can't enforce. So then they're taking an expense, and I don't know if there's any liability on our behalf. But if they make these investments and then we can't implement this technology or the law, then I don't want them to make that expense at this point. So I don't know what my fellow commissioners think, but
What do you think about it being unconstitutional?
what? That's not the question being asked of me right now.
Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to go ahead and support this today. I think it's important we move this forward. It can be held in abeyance until the case is settled. There's no reason to move forward beyond that. But to have this done so that once the case is settled, and I believe it will be found to be constitutional, or the folks up in Tallahassee will be able to make those changes. But I think it's important that we recognize the need to protect our kids. And this has taken us a long time to get to this step, and I'd rather not see it delayed after the appeal is decided. So I'll be supporting it today. And I'll go ahead and make that motion to go ahead and move forward, because this is just preliminary reading and permission to advertise.
Commissioner Sacks, you're recognized.
Thank you. Anything for
We have a motion by
safety?
Commissioner Weiss and a second by Commissioner Flores.
Anything for safety of our kids, I'm for. So I second the motion. I guess I would be a third because Commissioner Flores beat me to the gun. You know, how many kids do you have that went through schools, right? Right, all right. I accept that. But this is, look, it's a great idea. We got a vendor who's going to take care of it. And nothing happens pending the constitutionality of the issue. So there's no harm being done to accept this as it is. Let's get it. Let's put it on the record that anything we can do to protect our kids we're in for it, pending constitutionality of 4th GCA on this issue. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Question to the attorney. If we do approve this today, make the motion for the preliminary reading and the permission to advertise May 5th, what is the procedure after that if in fact this does hold up in court? What is our next step?
You mean after the May 5th? If we'll have to repeal the ordinance.
But if we put the ordinance in place, are we telling our vendors to go ahead and start?
Essentially, we'd be given the green light. If the ordinance is passed, what happens next, it goes to the state, and once the state signs off, it goes in effect. The argument, I think, is to have this portion go on, but I don't think we enact an ordinance with the pending. At least that wouldn't be my recommendation, to enact the ordinance without the finality of the court.
So on May 5th, we get to have this discussion again. Is if we pass the motion on the preliminary reading and the permission to advertise, May 5th we revisit this, but means we don't have to do an ordinance, correct?
Correct, you have that option.
Okay, I would support the motion. Thank you.
Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I heard that Ms. Keller indicated that we are second in the nation in pedestrian pedestrian accidents. Is that Palm Beach County in terms of the number of accidents that are happening? And is that in school zone areas, or is that pedestrian accidents as a whole?
It's in general, and it's across the state of Florida, not just school zones.
So it's in general and it's across the state of Florida, but we would be looking at passing this measure for Palm Beach County and specifically for school zones. The complicated part to this is, are we opening up the door to where we will start to have speed zone cameras eventually on every speed limit? And additional question to that's one question. Put a pin in that. That's my new thing, put a pin in it. The next question I have is, all of the schools that were listed, are all of those schools going to have these cameras or just a sampling of them? I saw it looked like there were more schools in, I think it was Commissioner Flores' district than anybody else's, but.
These are the 40 schools that have been identified to have the school speed cameras.
Okay. So Back to that original question.
I'm sorry.
The question that I asked to put a pin in.
I'm going to defer to legal on this one. Does it? No, the question was the school zone camera. And does it open up to additional camera opportunities for speeding? Okay, there's nothing pending at the state at this point to allow speed cameras in other areas, just school zones.
Okay. Let's follow up.
Of course.
With this, the cameras being allowed in school zones in Palm Beach County, unincorporated Palm Beach County being as it may, what statistically, and I believe Neil Schiller may have given me this answer, but I may have forgotten. Statistically, once the cameras have been installed, has it shown a change in behavior, and has it resulted in a reduction of the number of students hit by cars traveling at these speeds? And this is important because I have a child who I drive to school every morning, and I sometimes witness people speeding through the school zone. So I just need to know how many children have been impacted or not been hit by cars speeding through the school zones. And the challenge I have is, too, when you think about a school zone, usually there's a crossing guard and there's also children. The children are usually walking on the sidewalk. But in these cases, we don't want people speeding through those zones because at some point the kids do have to cross the road. And as we know, kids don't necessarily follow the rules all the time. So that's a question I want to kind of ask. Has it resulted in less children being hit in other areas? And has it resulted in a change in behavior?
We don't have the data up there yet on the school zones and the impact to the number of crashes, but I do have up there that shows about 90% of the violators do not receive a second violation, which means that it is effective in reducing the speeding.
Thank you. Commissioner Weiss indicated it's about our children. So my ultimate question is, and you answered that question, is that you don't have the data with regard to how many children are not being hit or being impacted. If the impetus for this ordinance is children and not profit, then why don't we have that data? And do you have it, Neil?
It's a newly implemented law in the state of Florida. I'm not sure it's been gathered yet, but that's something we will be tracking if we do go forward with this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Commissioner Powell.
Neil, I did not recognize you.
You didn't recognize me?
I
Oh,
did
thought
not.
You did. I'm sorry.
Please continue, Joanne.
That's it. We'll be tracking that.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, can Neil answer that question? Because the question I have with regard to that, if he's working with the cameras, I know that these speed zone cameras exist in other states, and if we don't have the data for Florida, perhaps if he's been working with this
If he
company.
has it in other states, if it pertains to the kids, of course. Neil, you're recognized.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry, Madam Mayor. If I could bring my client up,
Of course.
he's the expert.
Where's the button?
Just, you don't have to just speak.
There we go. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Greg Parks with Red Speed. We do not track the accidents. That's a governmental function, but we do serve your peer counties of Miami-Dade, Hillsborough, and very large counties. And we are seeing not only less than a 10% repeat violator rate, but over a 90% reduction in speeding violations, all at no taxpayer expense. And while we do not have access to the accident data, I firmly believe, as do our customers, that it's axiomatic that safer speeds, slower speeds are going to cause less accidents.
Are you the vendor in place in Broward County?
We serve Fort Lauderdale. The County of Broward does not have a program, as they don't have any schools in unincorporated county. We are not the ones subject to litigation, but our law firm is assisting and are very confident. I can't really speak to ongoing matters, but.
And what's your plan if this lawsuit is, because they've already ruled that it is unconstitutional. So if the appellate court upholds that, what's your plan?
Well,
Should we pass this today?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt you. In our opinion, in the unlikely event that it is upheld, and anything could happen in a court of law, and that does apply to this one case. We have Broward communities moving forward as we speak. We believe there will be a legislative fix as well. It's very likely. But if in the unlikely event, to directly answer your question, we would appeal it. And if it was found to be unconstitutional, the law's been in place for 16 years, and it's gone to the Florida Supreme Court and prevailed, we would remove our equipment at no expense to the county. And our contract does clearly state that if you're fortunate enough to approve it.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I know that this is permission to advertise for the May 5th reading, but I wanted to ask, is now the time we need to discuss any of the parameters around this, as in it would only be operating with flashing lights during the specific window of time for school zones, or is that going to be for the May 5th meeting?
That's addressed now in the ordinance. It's written that way, so that only issues violations during the morning drop-off and the afternoon pickup.
Okay, and then as far as the, for people to appeal, is that something that's baked into the law, or do we have any discretion on allowing people to appeal their citation?
The statute provides the process.
Okay,
for
because
contesting the
I have seen, news stories from around the state where some of this seems almost a rubber stamp type of thing, that there is no appeal. And so can anyone speak to that? Is that accurate? If someone gets the citation, is there a real process to appeal?
The appeal goes through the special magistrate process, so there is an opportunity to actually appeal in front of a special magistrate if desired.
David, you're recognized.
So it's the appeals process. That appeals process is exactly where the constitutionality is at issue, where it requires the owner of the vehicle to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they were not the violator because they own the vehicle. So the courts, what the court's saying is that burden per statute and per constitution is the state's to bear, as opposed to the owner of the vehicle, who is the accused, to bear. So that's the issue. But so it does have that process.
So hold on one second. So David, just to clarify, so you're saying that the burden becomes on the person to prove their innocence?
Correct.
Is what you're saying, instead of the other way?
Correct.
And if I may, I'm going to let you continue, but I do have a quick question. So are these person-specific or vehicle-specific citations?
To the registered owner.
It's the registered owner of the vehicle.
So if your husband's driving your car, you get the vehicle, you get the citation?
That's correct.
If you're the registered.
If you're the registered owner, that's true.
If you're the registered owner. Thank you. Commissioner Sachs, you're right. Oh, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Woodward, please continue, recognized.
And I did just have a question. If this were to move forward and the courts rule, or if there's a legislative fix addressing this, because it maybe goes all the way to the Supreme Court of Florida, is there like a retroactive where we would have to repay any citations that were issued, or how would that work?
So the legislature, it's their prerogative as to whether or not the statute is retroactive. What generally happens, though, is if they were supposed to, if it went all the way to the Supreme Court, or even if it died with the appellate court, and it became the law for at least for this district, the legislature could at any time they deem appropriate to enact a law that could correct it potentially.
And would that correction have a financial penalty to us where we would have to repay? Because at this point, when you say it's the state's responsibility, I mean, that's actually us at this level.
Well, what I'm thinking, I can't envision the circumstance under which the appellate court would uphold a law and we would go ahead with the ordinance.
No, I mean if it goes beyond that, because it could go to, there's a higher level of court, right?
Yes, but that would be binding law once the appellate court makes that ruling, regardless of any appeal.
Okay. And that is what's the current track right now, that could take a month or a year, we don't know.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's your advice, County Attorney, that we do not implement this until that ruling takes effect? Or until we find out one way or the other what the appellate court rules on?
To implement the ordinance?
Correct.
Oh, absolutely.
Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Yeah, just to clarify, so this is about people speeding in excess of 11 miles an hour in a school zone during the time when those lights are flashing and children are on the street. 90% of the people who get a violation don't repeat it. So it's not about money, it's about safety. I mean, we're not talking about people going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, which is still over the speed limit, and the police officer, if was there, could cite them. Should. We're not implementing this. There's a number of steps that would, even if we pass this ordinance, it will require that we let an RFP for a contract for a vendor or multiple vendors to implement this.
Excuse me, Commissioner Weiss. So if we do implement this, is this the vendor that is already chosen?
If it comes forward again next month, you'll see there's a contract on there at the direction of PBSO to select Red Speed.
So we don't have an RFP or a vendor selection that's already been chosen?
The contract would need to be executed, Mayor, and approved by you all.
We're piggybacking off somebody else's contract. All right. Well, there's nothing that says we have to move forward with any contract.
That's correct.
So this would be held in abeyance until this case gets settled.
Well, the board could do that. You could put an effective date that's way ahead. It's not recommended to put an indefinite date, but you could put a date that's a year out to save that time and revisit it at that time.
Would you like to amend your motion to make the effective date the date of the ruling?
No, 'cause
I don't
this is
think
not
we're
the
there
final
yet.
reading. This is just a permission to advertise.
Right, we're not
We're
there
not
yet.
even,
That
we're
that
not
would be at the
voting
May.
on the ordinance yet. This is not, this is permission to advertise. This is not implementing this ordinance.
Administrator Abruzzo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We also or the board may want to amend the motion as well as saying, or a legislative fix, along with the court.
That's all right. We can do that at the next reading.
Commissioner Sacks, you're recognized.
Yeah, I third this motion to advertise, to begin it, not to enact an ordinance. We're not enacting an ordinance. We are beginning to advertise. We're beginning the step. This was a state law a number of years ago. We had cameras all over our county roads and state roads. And after some smart lawyers got onto this and said, that you can't prosecute and convict people unless we have somebody there to actually see them commit the alleged violation. So this has already been through a lot of constitutional, questions through the courts. But this is a particular area, which is a school zone. All right? We can't have a police officer at every school zone. And we all know what's happening, and I spoke to Joanne about this. What we have is people are not having their kids go in school buses. So they're all over our roads. And if anybody hasn't seen all the moms sitting in the road waiting for their kids, we know that there's a lot of traffic going back and forth. So there's nothing initially wrong or in violation of anything by at least starting the process. Then as the courts move through the constitutionality of that, then you all come back and we vote on whether we want to enact an ordinance. So Commissioner Weiss said it correctly. This is just a motion to begin the advertising of this pending, and then it will come back or not, pending approval of the legislature as well as the courts.
So you wanted, so if I'm understanding what the motion would be, it would be that we give permission to advertise, but we do not start the process of approving the ordinance until there is a decision made by the appellate court.
That is correct. And that's exactly
I like that.
What it says here, preliminary reading and permission to advertise. It's exactly what it says right over, exactly. That's what the second said here, too.
But,
okay.
Attorney
Yeah.
Audie?
So this is just a first step in enacting an ordinance. So it's being advertised, and then
But
At
the
the end of-
second step wouldn't come to us until we had a ruling from the appellate court?
No, the second step comes based on the structure of the ordinance. So it will come before you to decide whether or not to enact the ordinance, or, as Commissioner Weiss suggested, to enact it and put an effective date some time ahead.
So are we saying we're going to enact an ordinance before we find out what the appellate court is going to do?
That is entirely the board's discretion.
Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Did you have that? Did you see that look I was making? First off, at the next meeting, we can make any adjustments we want to the ordinance. All we're doing today is permission to advertise. So at the next meeting in May, maybe we have some more information between today and then. But all we're doing today is saying, yes, here's the ordinance as it's written today. We're going to make a motion to advertise, and we will discuss the ordinance again on May 5th. At that point in time is when we should be making any adjustments as to whether we're putting a time frame on it. Are we waiting for the court to decide? Do we want schools to begin and enact and put it in place on that day? All we're doing today is permission to advertise. The ordinance that we have in place, the wording that we have in place is permission to advertise. So on May 5th would be when we would take up this discussion more strenuously than today.
Okay, Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. And this is a question, I guess, for legal. Are we able to put in our ordinance that the driver gets cited and not the car?
The ordinance has to follow the state law as enacted right now, and that's what the state law states. So we cannot vary from that.
Thank you. We do have a motion and a second. Commissioner Sacks, you're recognized.
Just want to help out a little bit on this. When somebody uses your car and you have a toll violation against SunPass, they get a picture of your license plate.
And the
Okay.
driver.
Well, the back of my head looks like everybody else's back, so when I go
mean, they have
through
a
it,
front
I'm like,
camera, too.
doesn't make any difference, But it's the way it is. You can't get a picture of the driver. It'd be great if they could, but the technology is not there right now, Commissioner Woodward. So, but there's no issue with. Look, these are kids out there. This is safety. This is if it's proven constitutional. And if the state statute says that if the state also approves it, why not go for the safety of the kids? That car is in violation of speeding. Let's take care of it.
We have
What's that?
It's
We don't have self-driving cars, though, so the driver is actually the one who is speeding.
If I see a self-driving car in a school zone, I'm scared. Okay? But maybe that's the future. I don't know. But, I think that this is the technology that we have today, and it's good.
We have a motion and a second for permission to advertise. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Please see how the motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve item 5C1.
I have a motion. I have a second by Commissioner Sacks. All in favor for 5C1, which is related to the county attorney, budget transfer.
Spend it wisely.
Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Moving on to 5D1. Does anyone need a presentation? Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Flores, a second by everyone. Please see, we'll give it to Commissioner Sacks. Please see how that motion carries 7-0. That was for 5D1A and B, just to clarify. Moving on to 6A1. We only have one that is nominated. Would anyone like to approve this nomination? Or make the motion? Oh, do we need to recess to the, yes, thank you. At this moment, we are going to recess as the Board of County Commissioners and convene as the Environmental Control Board. I will entertain a motion to approve Hector at 6A1. I have a motion by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Do we have any board appointments? Oh, yeah, excuse me. Now we are going to recess as the Environmental Control Board and reconvene as a Board of County Commissioners. Now, board appointments, anyone? I have 3 lights on. We'll start with Commissioner Marino.
Thank you. I would like to reappoint Mark Feldmesser to the Palm Beach County Infrastructure Surtax Independent Citizen Oversight Committee. Say that 3 times fast.
Thank you. I don't think that's a direct appointment. I don't think we need him. Yeah. And Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized?
Yes, I would like to appoint Todd LaRue to the Fire Rescue Advisory Board.
Okay. And Commissioner Sacks?
Appointment of Kathy Cassiani, Small Business Development Advisory Committee.
Okay. We are going to move on to any staff comments.
Yes, I have, well.
No staff comments. Okay, County Administrator. We need a motion to receive and file.
Motion to receive.
A motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. County Attorney.
None.
No comments. Thank you so much. Direction, board direction. Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized, then Commissioner Sacks, then Commissioner Flores.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would just like to address a previous board direction that I was giving for the gas tax potential pause. We got information back from our legal department that the state of Florida actually does not allow for local governments to do a pause on any local taxes. We would have to rescind it. So I just wanted everyone to know I did write a letter to the governor and to our representatives in Tallahassee asking them to address this in a legislative session because that's what it would require in order for us to do that. So with that, we can close the board direction that was previously given because it is not something currently we are allowed to do. But I did send a letter and I copied all of you on it. Thank you.
Does anybody object to the update? Okay, we're good then. Administrator?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I actually do have a brief update on board direction. Vice Mayor rung a bell in my head. We are working very hard at administration. This administration inherited board directions going back to 2021. We're tackling it from both ends. I will be coming by each of your offices. Many of it has been out of date. Many of it was your predecessors, and I will be going through each one with you. But we have a plan by year's end to clear off every single board direction, which are about that thick. So thank you, Madam Mayor and Board, for your indulgence. Appreciate it.
And thank you for your steadfast commitment to making that happen. Commissioner Sacks, you're recognized.
Thank you so much. I have a board direction to give staff direction to light up the historic courthouse in blue and white the evenings of April 21 and 22, 2026, in honor of Yom HaZamuot, Israel's 78th anniversary year.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that, Commissioner Sacks.
And I don't know if I should have done this under comments. I apologize if I should have.
We haven't gotten to comments yet, so.
Okay, good. Then I'll hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Yeah, I would like to give direction for staff, administration, and our attorney to work with Transit Village. It was recently brought up to my attention that there are 2 major deadlines that they're looming. One is June 13th that is impeding them. Basically, we have a legal issue with them at this point, which we can't really talk about it. However, it has been brought up to my attention that they have 2 lease agreements.
Attorney Adi, you're recognized.
Yes, Commissioner, we've been working with the folks, and
I understand, but I'm just bringing up to your attention that they have 2 agreements that are coming up as a deadline in June 13th, and they're in La La Land.
Commissioner,
And what I'm asking for you, so I'm giving direction, to either work with them on finding a resolution fairly quickly or help them get extensions on these agreements. because you have a business entity who has invested a lot of capital, and because there is no resolution, then they're going to be, when these amendments end, then the whole project ends. So I don't know if we have to have a shade meeting with
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
with the board to make a decision, but a business has looming deadlines. So how are we going to work on these deadlines for them?
So Commissioner, the matter is in litigation, and we don't discuss the litigation in an open forum.
We're not opening the litigation. What I'm asking is about their agreements on the table.
Commissioner, I'm not going to discuss the specifics of any issue between us
Okay,
and
so then
Transit
are you
Village.
saying that
That's
if
in
we
litigation.
can't talk about it, we're going to have a shade session? Because I think it's only right that
Commissioner,
at least it's discussed.
I'm happy to meet with you. The timing
I don't
is...
want to
is-
meet.
is-
I want to make a decision with this board.
It's not the decision for the board to make, Commissioner.
Why not?
Whatever we do in litigation is based on court rules and our decision, which is not a public issue. There's a specific method for us to have those discussions, either with the commissioners individually or for the limited purpose that the statute allow when the attorney believes that there is sufficient basis under the statute to have a shade meeting, one will be conducted. But to discuss any specifics in the litigation is not something we do in public.
So you're saying that if we wanted to make an offer or come to some sort of decision whether we want to be in disagreement or not, we can't have that discussion among commissioners?
Well, the commissioners would not make an offer. It would be the attorneys who make a representation as to what's
How
happening
would
in the
you
case.
make an offer if you don't know what this board wants?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. So how do we discuss this without doing it here?
Commissioner, when there is litigation, as it is, what the board has asked is for quarterly updates. We meet with you, as we have done in the past, and we have those discussions. If at some point there is the need to make an offer or to discuss litigation strategy with respect to expenses, the statute authorizes us to have, for the attorney to raise the issue to the board and request a shade meeting. We don't have that at this point. So I'm happy to meet with the commissioners individually to update you as to where we are. It's the time now. The timing is good because it's quarterly, and I think my office has made appointments with all the commissioners to have discussions about our ongoing litigation, and that's the appropriate forum.
May I?
You may.
Attorney Audi, because we've discussed, there's information that won't be discussed publicly that could come to us relatively quickly.
Correct.
Would that then be the appropriate time to have a shade meeting with the entire board, or so that we can see where there might be room to negotiate to help this move forward?
Without getting into any specifics, the time is not now. It may happen in the near future, but the time is not now. And when that time is appropriate, I will, as I often have often done in the past, request a shade meeting with the board to discuss that. The statute is very, very limited as to provide very, very specific circumstances under which a shade meeting can occur. And those elements are not present at this moment.
Administrator Abruzzo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. What I can update you from my perch, since I'm not bound by any legal matter, and this is a matter of public record as well, we are waiting for the federal government to opine on, and I'll be careful. I sent a letter, David. Madam Mayor,
Go ahead. You're recognized.
I'd advise the county administrator not to go into the specifics of that because of the agreements that we have with the attorneys on the other side. So it's just not appropriate to have that discussion in a public forum.
Madam Mayor?
Administrator.
But it is, I was just going to update them on a letter that is public record.
I think that's best done with each individual commissioner as opposed to in a public forum.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to say that the county attorney, not to speak for him, but I will tell you that administration, along with the county attorney, have been working very hard with the parties to resolve this. It's a large ownership group. I've encountered different things from different owners of this project. I was brought up in court record that they asked for time in the court, and again, David, court record, because of our ongoing negotiations at administration. I think the ball's down the field further than it's ever been, and I do opine with County Attorney Adi that hopefully we will see some resolution, but we're waiting on some outside factors as well that I apparently can't discuss today.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
So then I'm going to ask you both to make this a priority because they have two looming deadlines, and they're in June, so they're dependent on those to either bring this to fruition or get out of this contract. But we should make a decision, work actively with them because these. If it was me, if I had some looming deadlines, I would want to know where I'm at. And we should come to a resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. I have my own board direction. I have two separate things I'm asking for. I'm asking for staff to draft a letter of support to the state regarding a certificate of need for hospice services in Palm Beach County. Without any objection? Okay, thank you. And additionally, I'm asking for board direction for staff just to explore the establishment of a disaster relief gap funding for gap financing for local farmers, and I'm going to explain a little more. So should the federal government declare that the freeze that happened in January is a disaster, and should they set dollars aside that farmers can apply for, the problem they have, the smaller farmers, is the time that it takes to them to get money. So I'd like the county to explore setting up a pot of dollars for gap financing until they get repayment from the federal government. I'm sure Commissioner Weiss will want to say something. Okay. Okay.
I think that's good.
Commissioner Sacks?
Yeah, I
you
think
recognize?
that, especially since we are basically an agricultural county.
Yes.
And corn sure was good today. Thank you. I wanted to thank you also for providing the resources of our farmers. That I think it's important that we have that gap funding, and I certainly support that. Thank you for
Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Yeah, I support that. I mean, we all know how inefficient the federal government can be. I had actually brought something similar up to administration as it related to our TSA employees, who still, unfortunately, are not being funded. So I encourage our folks in Washington I know they're back in session. That should be their priority, is making sure that the public is safe and that our federal workers are getting paid. I've never heard of such a thing that goes on like this. But I support this, and I'm sure there's a way to come up with a program to help them.
Thank you so much. And we will move on to board comments. We will start from right to left. Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Good job today with all of the fruits and vegetables. I was late, so hopefully my staff was able to pick some of those up. I would like to request an off-site proclamation for May 11th, honoring the 50th anniversary of the Forum Club of the Palm Beaches.
I have a motion and a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that motion carries 7-0.
And I have no other comments. Thank you.
Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I know recently there's been a few people who have passed away in my district, and I'm requesting, I don't know if the proper format is I'm working with my staff to either a memoriam or an off-site proclamation. So just in case, I'll request off-site proclamations for one Leontine Brown, Miss Fanny Banks, and Georgia Gilbert, for those who have passed away. This one is a proclamation for head football coach at Palm Beach Gardens, who's being inducted into the High School Hall of Fame, Tyrone Higgins. So I would like to request potentially 4 off-site proclamations.
I have a motion for those proclamations. I have a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please say the motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. I'd also like to recognize Westgate Park over the weekend, celebrate Westgate. I had the opportunity to stop by Westgate, and Michael Elize and the team were very welcoming. It was an exciting opportunity to be in the heart of my district. There was music, there were bounce houses, there were games, there was produce. I had coconut water directly from the coconut, and my daughter got to climb the wall. So it was an exciting time to be out in the district and the community. Also want to give a shout out, while we were sitting as the board for the Solid Waste Authority, I indicated that I would be participating in the SWA 5K, and I want to give a shout out to Commissioner Flores for joining me on Saturday for the SWA 5K, and we both had a good time out there. I won't tell you who won, but you can imagine. And then, and then also had an opportunity to do back-to-backs, my first time ever, 5Ks. So on Sunday, I went to run with the cops at a 5K downtown West Palm Beach, and it was exciting to be there with Commissioner Weiss. I won't tell you who won that one either, but we had a great time, and it was for great causes. You can always check the times on runsignup.com and see, who was who. I will tell you this, though. I will be truthful. There was a lady at the end of the race. She said she was going to draft off my shoulder and she was going to pass me at the end. That was her intention. There were some women, very fast women who whooped a lot of people. But this lady in particular had her sight set on beating me. And I will tell you that did not happen. I had to open up, imagine I was back in college, open up that track speed on her. I hit her with the
Our
zoom.
question is, how did you feel the next day?
On Sunday, when I did the 5K, I was a little sore. Yesterday, I was fine. Thank y'all, but it was fun, and I just want to make sure people enjoy. Our life is short. Enjoy life. Get out in the community. We lost a friend, Leontine Brown, who also served on my commission for women in this district. And I'll just tell you that as we think about it and we dwell, life is short. We have activities to complete. We have things to do. Enjoy life while you can. Stop and smell the roses. Participate. Do the things that you think about doing, because before you know it, it's over. That's it. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I actually have 3 off-site proclamation requests. Can I just take them all 3 together? Okay. First one is declaring May 3rd through 9th, 2026 as Palm Beach County Small Business Week. Second is declaring April 23rd, 2026 as Rick Paul Day. And the last is declaring April 2026 as Fraud Prevention Month.
I have a motion. Second. I have a second by Commissioner Sacks. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that motion carries 7-0. Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
So I want to invite everyone to District 3 office in the actual district, so in district office. We're opening it on Saturday. It's our grand opening. It's at the old Supervisor of Elections. We have a little space there that we're opening it up to our community, so that if there's ever any constituent issues, that they can actually be in the district without having to come downtown and fight looking for parking and things like that. So we're probably gonna split our time between here and there, but if you happen to be in District 3 on Saturday, swing by, see our new digs. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you. Yes, I also ran with Commissioner Powell on Sunday and run with the cops. For those that don't know, that supports the West Palm Beach Police Department, and I was one of the founders of the West Palm Beach Police Foundation, which was the predecessor of the fund. And so it was a real thrill to be able to run with the police officers here in the city. Not to embarrass my colleague, I'm just going to say that I came in first in my age group. How about that? And the winner, I did look up the winner's time. It was a woman, and she ran, if you can imagine, a 5K in 18 minutes. That's about a little more than 5 minutes a mile. So that was moving, and but honestly, it was a good time, and I know the police, the men and women serving in law enforcement, really appreciate the support they got from the community. So thank you.
Commissioner Sacks, you're recognized.
I'm almost embarrassed by all these men doing all these athletic things. I would just thought of it, so I don't know how well it sounds, but I'd like to. Go ahead, Commissioner Weiss.
Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Sorry, I forgot to ask. I'm requesting off-site proclamation declaring April 19th through 25th, 2026 as National Crime Victims' Rights Week.
I have a motion.
Second.
And I have a second by Commissioner Marino. All in favor?
It's okay.
Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Back to Commissioner Marino. Did you need to say something real quick?
I did forget to say, and you reminded me when you talked about hospice. We did a really phenomenal fundraiser for TrustBridge on Saturday at TGL, where we had quite several hundred people there having an opportunity to pretend like they were at the Masters and watch the Masters on TV and hit into the screen and give everybody the opportunity to see what the pros actually experience. And they raised a ton of money, and it was their first try. So I just wanted to give a shout out to TrustBridge for their support of hospice, and you reminded me. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Sacks, you're recognized.
So nice. Well, all this talk about, the fragility of life, I'd like to volunteer Commissioner Powell to maybe organize a softball game with, because you got some athletes here. One sitting right next to you to your right, and probably one to your left as well. So I think we women could put on a good show. And we did this a number of years ago with the, we could do it with the firefighters, maybe the retired firefighters, or the retired lawyers, right, Mr. Good? So, but Commissioner Powell, I wonder if you could put something together, and I think we could all participate, and for a good cause as well. But in the meantime, I have a off-site proclamation request. We had a commissioner here who is now a judge, and his investiture is on April 17th, this Friday, across the street, and that is His Honor Michael A. Barnett. So I'd like to have an off-site proclamation declaring April 17th as Judge Michael A. Barnett Appreciation Day.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sacks, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Looking forward to it, Commissioner Powell.
Thank you. I have a couple proclamations that I need to request myself. There's 3, so if you could just do them all 3 together, it might be fastest if you don't mind, Commissioner.
All right, we are requesting proclamation for Palm Beach State College in recognition of National Apprenticeship Week, May 3rd through the 16th, National Day of Prayer on May 7th, and proclamation in recognition of Second Chance Month.
I have a motion. I have a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 7-0. And then lastly, I want to thank all the farmers that came out to celebrate Agriculture Day and help us provide all the fresh produce that was in right outside Chambers. I would also like to invite everyone to attend Black Gold Jubilee this coming weekend. It's on Saturday in Belle Glade. The parade starts at the library at 10 a.m. And a reminder for everyone to come join us for corn shucking at Sweet Corn Fiesta Festival at Yesteryear Village on Sunday, April 26th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thank you, everyone. With that, meeting adjourned.
Recess till matters by the public.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. We are recessed until matters by the public at 2 p.m. Thank you.
Welcome to Inside PBC, where we highlight what's going on inside Palm Beach County. April is here, and two important initiatives are highlighted this month by the Public Safety Department. Sexual Assault Awareness Month highlights and celebrates survivors of sexual assault. And Second Chance Month raises awareness about citizens who have successfully reintegrated into the